Hey everybody, how's it going? It's the Daily Shooter, and today I've got another optics review for you. What we're going to be taking a look at today is the Steiner R1X Reflex Sight. This is a really cool optic. Now, the Steiner R1X is one of those optics that really caught me by surprise this year. I wasn't exactly sure what to expect. It's a fairly new optic. It just came out in 2017. I've never used anything by Steiner before, so I wasn't sure about the build quality, even though I've heard that they make some very nice stuff. I don't have any experience with it. So I wasn't sure about the build quality. The optic looks very futuristic. It also looks like it's built like a tank, and it seems to have some pretty cool features. So I was excited to get it out there, try it out, and be able to give you guys my actual opinion on it. It does kind of fall in that medium, what I would call a medium to high price range. It's over $500, under $600. And depending on what type of mount you get with it, because it does offer several different mounting options, you can save yourself a little bit of money. I got this from Optics Planet. You guys can use the code TDS5, save yourself a little bit of money with the link that I'll post down below, and even get it for a little bit less. But depending on the mounting options, you're looking anywhere from about $519 to about $559. Okay, so it is in that medium to high price range, but not in the super high price range where you're paying $800 or more. So really interesting. Now here's one of the options, or one of the features that I really ended up liking about this. And if you guys are curious, you don't want to watch any more of the video, you're just watching this to see whether or not somebody thinks it's good, I love this optic. I think this optic is fantastic, and it has a lot of great features that I really ended up liking even more than I expected. Here's the first thing. It is a full co-witness. Now, if you guys are full or absolute, depending on the way that you want to put it, it is an absolute co-witness, meaning that when I flip up my iron sights, they are dead center. And even though I like 1/3 lower co-witness because it feels like I get a better cheek weld behind my optic, this one right here sits so nice that you really do get a good view through it. Also, it's got a really nice large viewing window. This viewing window is excellent. It gives you a great field of view. You can shoot with 2 eyes open. I mean, you are missing out on absolutely nothing that is downrange with this optic, and the glass is very, very clear. Unlike some other options that were out there that I've tested recently where you get a really kind of a green or a greenish blue type hue to the glass, you really do not get this. Maybe 5 or 10% blue hue on this glass right here. It's got a nice anti-reflective coating on it. The glass seems to be very nice. Clear, crisp, there's no distortion around the edges, and the reticle itself is one of the things that I think sets this aside from a lot of the other optics that are in the same category. And basically what we have here is we have a standard red dot that floats in the center, okay? So the standard red dot, even though I can't seem to find anywhere what size the dot actually is, it looks to be about a 2 MOA dot, maybe even a 1.8 MOA dot. And this small little dot leads to nice, clear, accurate shooting. It's got a very crisp reticle. It's easy to see. It has 7 brightness settings, which to me still could be a little bit better. I do like a little bit more adjustability in my optics, but still, it does get nice and bright. That's another criticism that I've had with some of the other optics that are on the market right now, is they don't get bright enough. This gets plenty bright enough, even in the bright desert sun, and you can see that little dot perfect. But this actually has a second reticle, which is really nice. So all you do is you hit down the center button. There's a little button on the center here. And you hit that center button, and what it does is it switches it from a single red dot to 4 dots. So you end up with your original red dot in the center and then 3 drop zone dots. Okay, so what you have here is 3 dots that will allow you to use proper holdover instead of just kind of estimating your holdover, which is what you normally have to do with the red dot. If you're shooting out 300, 400, 500 yards with the red dot, you have to kind of estimate your holdover. You don't have to do it with this one right here. It has those 3 dots and will allow you to get a proper holdover on your target if you're shooting out past, whatever your 0 is, 25 to 100 or, 50 to 200, something like that. So depending on your 0, obviously that's going to help you quite a bit. So I think that's a really nice option. Having the ability to switch over from a single dot to a secondary reticle like that to help you with your ballistics is fantastic. And I found that there is pretty much no distortion even on bright in low light conditions, which is great because I can go from, bright light to low light. Now, taking a look at the outer shell, okay, this is one thing that I think might get a lot of people here, is looks. I personally think this looks cool. I like the futuristic stuff. That's me. That's my particular taste. But some people might look at this and say, look, I saw this right off of Halo. I used to play a video game with an optic that looked just like this, and it is kind of futuristic looking, but I feel that that futuristic look to it isn't just for looks. I feel like that when they created this optic, they did that with a purpose in mind. It's not just to look like this. So it's got a really futuristic design to it. I like it. I think it's really cool. And some of the other features that I like on it as well, since we're looking at the body, are going to be the adjustability. So the windage and elevation for this, instead of typical red dots that might have anywhere from a half MOA adjustment to 1 MOA adjustment, this particular red dot right here, or this reflex sight, actually has 1/4 MOA clicks, which is nice because it gives you that more fine adjustability than other optics that are on the market. A lot of other optics, again, with that half MOA or 1 MOA click, if you're shooting out 200 yards or more and you make a 1 MOA click, I mean, that's, several inches that you're moving it. With 1/4 MOA, you're still able to make the fine adjustments even if you're shooting out a little bit further. So that's another option that I like. Talking about the quick disconnect. Quick disconnect on this one is fantastic. It has a very small footprint. It takes up very little real estate on your rail. I do like that they have a square bar in the center instead of just a round bolt that goes through it. And that square bar is going to allow you to line this optic up better on your rail, and it's going to lead to better repeatability as far as accuracy is concerned. When you take this thing on and you put it, take it off and you put it back on, you're able to square it up real nice to the Picatinny section on your upper receiver. So it takes up very little rail space. I think the overall length on this is just about 3 inches, so not bad at all. If you get the option with the quick disconnect, it's got a really nice robust quick disconnect on it. It's very easy to take off, but it is somewhat flush to the mount. So basically, the only part that sticks out is that little handle, and it just sticks out just a little bit. So you don't have a big sloppy handle that's going to grab or get caught on something. Just a little bit of the handle that actually sticks away from the body. And again, the Picatinny rail section itself is maybe only about 1 3/4, so it really doesn't take up much rail space when you're talking about that. It looks really nice down the side. Again, a complete, full, absolute co-witness, and I think it's a great optic. Now, let's be honest, when it comes to buying optics these days, there's so many options that a lot of people go for the brands and the styles that they already know, because nobody wants to risk spending $500, $560 on something that they may not like. And from my personal experience with this, I can tell you that I'm not sure if anybody's going to use this thing that wouldn't like it, because if you're looking for a red dot with a clear, crisp reticle, something that does what you need it to do, this does what you need it to do. So I think more or less from watching this video, it's going to be whether or not you determine it to be kind of a looks issue other than anything else. It's very nice. It's waterproof, aircraft grade aluminum. The one interesting thing that I want to note about this optic is it doesn't use a standard CR2032 battery. It uses 2. And I find that very interesting because I cannot find anywhere the actual battery life of this optic. I've had this optic on ever since I've had it. I've had it for a while now. If you guys have been following my Instagram, you know that I've had this optic for a while now, been testing it out. And it uses 2 CR2032 batteries, but I don't know the battery life. I know that's, piss poor of me when it comes to a review. I should be able to tell you guys that. But what I can tell you is it has been constant on the brightest setting for probably about 5 or 6 weeks now, and it is still running perfectly strong. So it must have a good battery life even on high. I haven't had it on the single dot mode though. That's something that I should mention as well. But still, really nice. Very little reflection, especially from behind you when you're talking about other ones. The projection seems to be really nice. The projector is also not visible from what I can see. You look from both sides and you try and find that little projector, so that if anybody's on the opposite side of you with night vision, I don't think they'll be able to see the projector. I'm looking at it right now and I can't see the projector at all. So I think that's pretty cool. You might be able to pick it up with night vision, but the projector is kind of down below. It's in this little housing right here. So anyway, the Steiner R1X is definitely an optic worth checking out. I think that is 100% worth the money. It's a tough little optic. It's a very nice optic, and it has some great features to it. So definitely check it out. Link in the description box. Thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.